everyone, come on in and welcome back as I am coming back to these YouTube streets. I am on my I Told You So YouTube tour. I started with the P. Diddy video, I Told You So. I went on to the Somebody's Son, I Told You So. And now we are back here for the Never Ever Met's I Told You So video. I am doing both a recap of the reunion, and then I'm also doing a slight giving information recap on the new YouTube channel of Tatiana and Jay. They started a YouTube channel. Go over there and support them. And that's when we spilled even more tea after the reunion aired that says Jay and Cinco are broken up. And the video is, be careful, it's laced with profanity. And of course, the profanity is coming from Jay. So she letting it all out. And she lets us know that Cinco is broke, no job. He lives in a basement apartment. I guess the I Told You So part of Jay and Cinco for me was when Cinco was asking Jay to move to Atlanta from Chicago. I said, we don't know what kind of father Cinco is going to be. We don't know how Cinco is going to react to Jay's life once he sees her real life, which is back home working and taking care of a young child under the age of 5, from what I remember. And I said, Jay absolutely should not go. We find out from this new YouTube channel that I Told You So, once Cinco started going back to Chicago and spending time with Jay, as she said, significant amount of time, even on the reunion, she said he was coming back every month. And on the video, which y'all can watch, she said that he would stay 10, 12, 14 days. And what he was upset about was that Jay was not catering to him the same way she catered to him when they were at the all-inclusive resort that Kiki talked about. Remember, Kiki said this is an all-inclusive resort. And that's what Cinco thought it was too. But he thought the all-inclusive would extend over into real life, IRL. And when he got to Jay's real world, he said, you're not giving me enough attention. And he also disagreed with the way that she sometimes raised her son or disciplined her child. And he wasn't really helping with her baby because she'd come home from work and he wasn't doing nothing because he ain't got no job. So there's I Told You So. But let me tell you what I didn't get right. What I didn't get right was all season long, we've been talking about how everyone was lying. That was the theme of this whole season. Liars, liars, pants on fires. Well, we never did figure out, were there any lies being told by Jay and Cinco? And lo and behold, we find out that yes, there were. So I want to say this. I want to say, who is the biggest liar? Of course, I still got to give the biggest liar trophy to Charlie and Jared. I think their lies were really, really big. Clavasier's lie was big too. I mean, they're in the top 2. Let's just say that. They might be running neck and neck. I don't know. But since Jared and Charlie both were liars, I'm going to give that couple the top bill. And I'm going to give Clavasier the second biggest liar award. But even though we figured out that Jay and Cinco were lying, and I'm going to get to the lie, I'm going to say they were the best liars, because what Jay and Cinco did all season long was play in our face and act like they didn't have any issues. And I kept saying, how can you not have any issues? Nothing to talk about, nothing to work out. It wasn't to the very end we even saw this thing going on with where they're going to live. But I want to say they were the best liars, because Jay, of the two, I'm going to say that Jay and Cinco were the best liars, because they kept it very hush-hush that behind closed doors, they were having problems. Because on this YouTube channel with Jay and Tati, Jay revealed that they were having problems. Jay revealed that she was having problems with the fact that Cinco didn't have a job and that Cinco lived in a basement apartment, not another basement dweller. I keep telling ladies, don't go out with no man in a basement apartment. I don't care how much money the basement apartment cost. I don't care how nice the basement apartment is. I'm telling you, people who live in basement apartments are hiding things. I don't know. Call me ignorant, call me whatever, call me conspiracy theorist or whatever. Basement apartment dwellers like to hide things. And here we go. We find out Jay was living in a basement apartment. I mean, Cinco was. Now, Jay wants to go on this YouTube channel and tell us that the reason why she kept the secret of Cinco being jobless and living in a basement apartment and being shiftless and lazy, that's basically how she described him. She said because she was protecting Cinco. Lies on top of lies on top of lies. I keep telling y'all, and y'all gonna get it. The more you listen to me, the more you're gonna get it. You need to look at people's motivations. You can't just listen to what they say and what they do. You need to go a layer deeper and you need to figure out people's motivations, because a lot of people will act as if they're giving you a gift and lying to you and make you believe it is a gift to you when reality is they're shanking you on the back end. This is why you got to look at motivations. You just can't be happy and go lucky, because there's always people, lots of people got motives. And so when Jay tries to tell us one more time, no, Jay, you're not going to do it to me, that the reason why she kept Cinco's secret of him being lazy, shiftless, broke, and wanted her to do everything was because she was protecting Cinco. Lies on top of lies on top of lies. What Jay was doing is what Jay did all season long, which is try to make herself look good. Jay did not want it to come out that she was dating a lying, cheating, shiftless man. Not cheating, sorry. No, you know what? Let me take that back, because she said that Cinco, the night before or week before they came on this show, it was revealed that Cinco was sleeping with another woman. And then that woman, like I said on my last videos, that woman, soon as she saw Cinco was on a television show, sent pictures, videos to Jay, letting her know that, hey, I was just laid up with your man a week ago. But why did that lady send that? I don't know. Because we figured out on the show that even Jay had just said she couldn't remember if it had been in the last 6 months that she had had sex with 2 men. These folks was just lying to us. Lies on top of lies. So I have to give Jay the best. Jay and Cinco together, but I really want to give it to Jay the most. But hey, I'm going to give it to them as a couple, just like I gave the trophy to Charlie and Jared as the biggest liar. I have to give the trophy. Where's my chicken? I don't even know where my chicken is. I got to find my chicken. If I have my chicken, I have to tell Jay and Cinco they were the best liars. They got us. They got us good. That's why I'm telling everybody, always look for motivation. Look for motivation. So I want to say that in the end, everyone lied. Everyone on this show lied. We thought people were just hiding babies. They was hiding more than babies. And in the end, I guess we could say that Jay and Cinco were hiding the baby too, because as Jay described, Cinco is the baby. Cinco is the baby. But because Cinco didn't really reveal enough about himself, I really didn't get to do a full breakdown on them. But Jay, I clocked her real well. She definitely a control woman. Everything I clocked about Jay is true. Jay even revealed on this reunion that she likes to watch gay porn, her and Alexis both. Go figure. The two ladies who I always said do have the biggest problem with control and being overly assertive. I'm going to give it to Jay and Alexis. And isn't it ironic that the two of them both said they like to watch gay porn, and the gay porn they like to watch the most are men on men. And Jay, out of her own mouth, is because she says she likes to see men squirm. I'm telling y'all, listen to what people say. It always comes out. And don't just brush over it. So, Jay, there you go. So, let's get into this reunion. I didn't like the color scheme. I think the scheme of the dress was brown or tan or burnt orange. I don't know. It wasn't cute. I did not like the color scheme. And I guess they picked the color scheme based on what Taronda wanted to wear. And I don't know why people got to dress like Taronda, because Taronda doesn't dress well. So everyone else had to wear the same color as Taronda. And Taronda is probably one of the worst fashion people hosts I've seen in a long time. The color scheme was horrible. That's all I want to say. But the ladies looked great. The ladies' makeup looked great. Everything looked good. Tatiana looked beautiful. Jay looked beautiful. Everyone looked really, really nice. I didn't like Alicia's wig, though. I ain't gonna lie. I did not like Alicia's wig at all. I like that Tatiana got rid of them eggshell hoop earrings, because I never liked those all season. She looked really, really nice. But they started off talking first to the couple that went home first, which was Alicia and Irvin. And Irvin started up right away with his pettiness. He started up right away with his pettiness, with his snide remarks. And Alicia was true to form, and she says, I won't be bullied. I won't be bullied. But I'm going to tell you this, Alicia, I was with you. You could tell on this reunion that the guys had already spoken to each other. The ladies had spoken to each other. And the guys were somewhat in alignment that they were going to gang up on the ladies. They were going to all go after the ladies together. And honestly, I started to get a whiff that Jay and Cinco weren't in the best place on the reunion, because they really weren't saying, I don't know. They tried to keep us fooled a little bit that they were still together. But now, after I saw the interview that Jay did on their new YouTube channel, she even said at the time of the reunion that they kind of really weren't together. They were already in the midst of breaking up. And so it really all kind of made sense. But Irvin kept talking about how Alicia was there to make him happy and she didn't do it. And Tatiana said, get your own happiness. Get your own happiness. Stop depending on someone else for your happiness. Well, yeah, you don't want to depend on them completely for your happiness, but your partner should bring joy to your life. So I don't know. That's a mixed bag. But Alicia said, I'm drawing boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And I won't be bullied by all you men. Good for you, Alicia, because I did think they were trying to too much bully Alicia. I felt like let it just be between Alicia and Irvin, and that's fine. But finally, Alicia points to you, because finally she took accountability for saying that she was wrong when she said, I don't feel safe, and that it was a wrong choice of words. And that what she really should have said was, please stop yelling at me, or something else. So it took a while to get it out of her, but she finally pulled it out from underneath her wig, and that apology came out, and that admission and that accountability was there. Good for you. If y'all been watching my videos, I keep saying accountability makes you stronger. Accountability does not weaken you. A lot of people stray away from accountability, and they stray away from acknowledging that something they said was wrong. But if you embrace accountability, I'm telling you, you will actually become a stronger person. Not a weakened person, but you will become a stronger person. Irvin got on here and said he's still with that woman who backtracked with him. Anybody been on Irvin's IG? Is she there? Is she on the IG? I don't know if I believe it, Irvin, but hey, if you say so. And Alicia said she ain't booed up. She's still waiting for the best man. I know she is. I know she is still waiting on the best man. And something tells me that Alicia might be waiting for a while. I don't know. Something tells me Alicia might be working for a while. Then we had to move on to Tatiana and Clay. And like I said, I was so glad that Tatiana got rid of them she-shell earrings. Thank goodness. She looks so much better. And she dropped a bombshell that Clavassier is still lying. He's still lying. He over here talking about he got a girlfriend, and she said, well, just yesterday you said you didn't. and he's still sitting there with his mouth hung open. We find out that Clavassier, like I said before, Clavassier is a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. He likes to shimmy. They are the lover boy fraternity. Aren't they the lover boy fraternity? Well, he is still out here being a lover boy because he said he can't commit. He ain't committing to telling you the truth. He ain't committing to no woman. Clavassier is still out here shimmying. Boy, you need to stop it, Clavassier. And they asked Tatiana, "Where are you booed up?" And she said, "No, she got a roster." Tatiana, stop it, girl. Why do you want to paint yourself as a woman, a mother with a roster? That ain't a good look, Tatiana. You need to use better language. And let me tell you something, Tatiana. I see you over here flirting with Christopher, and I see country Christopher flirting with you. But Tatiana, you better beware. You better beware, because I'm going to stick to what I know about country Christopher. And Tatiana, I'm going to tell you this. You better go back and watch not Love is Blind. What is it? Ready to Love? Tatiana, you better go watch the season of Ready to Love with Christopher. And Christopher was very clear, very, very clear on Ready to Love that he did not want to date a woman with children. Go back and watch, Tatiana. He does not want to date a woman with children. So you are not his type. I don't care how much he was flirting with you. I don't care how much he was saying Tatiana is a nice, soft woman and you have to treat her gently. You better listen to Alexis when Alexis said she ended up rethinking the situation with Chris. Not as if she had an option. She didn't have no option because Chris didn't want her. But no, nonetheless, Alexis said, "I went back and reflected and realized that a lot of what Chris was saying about her being aggressive was also rooted in his own trauma." And Tatiana, let me tell you, girl, Chris has trauma. He does not want a woman with children. So whatever he is doing with you, whatever flirting he is doing with you, whatever he is doing, it is for a short term, not a long term. And I also want you to tell you that his trauma is real. His trauma is very, very real. Do not get with Chris until he has had extensive therapy. And I want you to listen to what he said on Ready to Love. And he does not want to marry a woman with children. You need to listen to that. Do not believe him. Do not believe he wants something serious to you. He is here to play with you and play in your face. And he's here to also try to make Clavassier look even worse. Don't be a pawn in Chris's little dick slinging. Just like he sends dick pics to Alexis, he's slinging his dick to sort of beat up Clavassier. And he's using you as the tool in which he does it. Why does he want to beat up Clavassier? I have no idea. But he does not want you for the long term. It is only for the short term. And listen, Tatiana, you failed for one lion man once, which was Clavassier. Don't fall for another lion man. There's 2 women, if not more, that you can listen to their stories of with Chris. Believe the women. Believe Alexis. Believe Maya on Ready to Love. And believe these other women. Do not believe Chris. He's lying. Just want to let you know, girl. I just want to let you know. And as we move on to talk about more lies, we talk about Brittany and Ty. And Brittany goes on to explain to us in this reunion that she had a clear conversation with Ty from the very, very beginning of this experiment. And what Brittany is saying is the fact that I didn't want Ty to touch me or kiss me or do anything all episode or season long shouldn't have been a surprise to him. Because what Brittany is telling us is that prior to this experiment, I told Ty, don't touch me, don't kiss me, don't look in my direction. And what Ty did was he didn't respect her wishes or her boundaries. And as a result, he got what he got. He got the rejection he got Because what Brittany is saying is, I laid it out real clearly for you earlier on that these were my boundaries and you're not to cross them. Okay, so let's go with this, Brittany. Brittany, what you're telling us is that you laid out these boundaries early. This was an experiment for you to get closer with the person you were talking on the phone with. And what you were saying before you even met the man in person was you had already told the man, "You not getting nothing from me." That's what she said. She said, just be aware, Ty, that if we go on this show, I'm not giving you anything at all. Brittany tried to tell us, well, I did iron your clothes and I did massage you. Does anyone really believe it was anything significant? I don't. I don't believe it was anything significant at all. And I think Brittany said exactly what I think the truth was. What Brittany is saying is that I really can't be held responsible for the way I treated Ty because I told Ty from the very beginning who I was. This is why I tell y'all. Listen to who people say they are and believe them. Because what Brittany said is before we got on this show, I told Ty, don't expect shit from me. But what I want you to expect is I want you to do everything for me. Brittany said she was so bold that she was willing to say up front, I'm not doing nothing. Don't touch me. Don't do anything. I'm not even going to show you any type of affection or love, but I will go on this show to receive everything from you. Everything from you. And she said, so as a result, I can't really be held responsible. So although Brittany may have a point in that she clearly laid out her rules, it still makes her a horrible person because what she was saying was, I was willing to go into a situation in which I knew I was never going to give a damn thing, but I was willing to go into it anyway because it was nothing but upside potential to get everything, anything I could. That's what she said. She said, I was honest about not giving anything, but I was still going to do it because I was there to get something for nothing. And so although if I believe what she said to Ty, that still makes her a bad person in my eyes. It really, really does. Let me tell you something. Just because you tell a person the truth it may make you honest, but it still doesn't make you a good person. And Brittany is a user. I'm going to stick with it. And maybe what Brittany has said in her life as life has gone on is that people have called her a user. Because sometimes what happens to users, they start to just tell people the truth, just like Jared. What happens is people are users in life. In the beginning, they lie to you because they think that I have to lie to you in order to use you. But what happens with users, they start to learn that there are some people who, even if I tell them the truth, they'll still let me use them. And what Jared and Brittany are, they're users that have now realized that I no longer have to lie about my need to use. I'll just tell you up front because I still know they're going to be people like the Tys of the world and the Charlies of the world, that even when I tell you up front, you're still going to be willing and able to let me use you. Brittany started walking around telling us that she's the real victim in life because what she spent a lot of time in her life not doing is speaking up for herself. That's what Brittany is starting to say. And what Brittany is saying when she said there used to be times when she didn't speak up for herself and she focused on keeping the peace is what Brittany talked about when she was younger. She was what was called a closet user. I really want you to hear Brittany and get to really know who Brittany was. Brittany says that in her younger days, she really wouldn't speak up and lean into the fact that she's a user. So she really wouldn't tell people how much she wanted to use them, and she just tried to keep the peace. She tried to keep quiet, but she was never a giving person. And what she's saying is that will cause friction later on because once her using ways would start to come out, she would start to feel like, well, why is there a problem with me? I can't tell people what I want So what Brittany has started to convince herself of is that the problem with her isn't the fact that she's selfish and she's a user. What she said is the problem that has happened with me is I don't show people that I'm a user from the very beginning. So now what I'm going to do out here in the world is I'm going to be a user up front and be honest with people. And in that, she says, I'm going to reveal my true intentions in the beginning of the relationship. That's why she feels like she's on solid ground with Ty, because she says, I'm not the old person. One is I tell you right up front, I'm going to use you. So I'm honest with you. And I'm also speaking to you what I really want. She says, now it's on you. Brittany, that's great. I'm glad that you are now an honest user, because now all people have to do is believe you. Before, they had to figure it out. So Brittany's walking around here and she is now what you could call an honest user. Like I tell everybody, believe people when they tell you who you are, when they are who they are, and it will help you. It will help you. Now, Brittany said that she and Jay didn't get along. They didn't get along because Jay was rude. Jay is rude. Jay has a sharp tongue. Maybe it's that Chicago in her. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on. But Jay is rude. Like I said, that whole YouTube video that she did with Tatiana was laced with profanity. Jay could not stop cursing. By the way, Kiki was also on the video. She didn't get to say much because she was driving. And guess where Kiki was coming from? Kiki was coming from brunch. Brunch with mimosas. I know it was mimosas at that brunch. I said, isn't this ironic that the next time we see Kiki, once again, she's coming from a drinking, a drinking activity. But you know what? When Brandon and Kiki's section started to come, and we started to find out that Brandon did apologize and say that he thought he overreacted to Kiki's excessive drinking. But you know what? I don't know if some of it wasn't true. I still don't believe it. I still believe that Kiki does a lot of drinking, but she's young. Hey, maybe young people do drinking. But let me tell you the part that was the most interesting about Kiki and Brandon. I thought the most interesting part was the fact that Brandon now has a crush on Charlie. And when I saw that, I said, ooh, they actually will be a good couple. And I'm going to go back to say why I think Brandon and Charlie will be a good couple. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier about Brandon. And a lot of you guys got mad because I said the reason why Brandon was with Kiki was because he looked at her as a project and someone that needed to be saved. And that Brandon has a history in his life of parenting women and trying to be the caretaker and of women who, I don't want to say that they're broken, but they're women who have issues in terms of self-esteem and other things, and that Brandon likes to be the captain who saves them. And of all the women that he became the most attracted to besides Kiki, because once he realized that Kiki didn't need saving because she already had a man. You see, that's what Brandon keeps saying. If he had been told that Kiki already was tied up with her boyfriend, it would have been a no from the beginning, because what he would have said was, well, you don't need to be saved because you already got a man. Besides the two-timing, that was the other part. Brandon likes weakened women on the side of the road. And let me tell you, I know Charlie says she's got a good paying job and that she's very well off and that she don't even ask for no child support. Girl, you better get you some child support, because child support is not for you. Child support is for your children. And even if you don't need the money, you should still be getting that child support, and you should be putting it in an account for their college fund later on, or when they may become an adult and they can have a head start on life. Do not forgo child support with five, I don't know how many baby daddies she's got. She's got what, 6 kids, whatever, because you don't need it because you've got a good paying job. You better go get that child support, put it in an account so that way those children have it. But here is Charlie over here still needing closure from Jared, who, just like Brittany, is now an honest user. And Brandon is over here falling in love, falling in love with this broken woman who needs saving. And let me tell you, their two traumas would actually comfort each other. You talk about traumas triggering each other, their traumas actually would comfort. Brandon has a big need to save a woman and a big need to caretake. And he would be enjoy taking care of Charlie, but at the same time, taking care of her children. And Charlie, I don't think would have a problem having another child for Brandon. And I don't know what Brandon does for a living, but if I remember, he was an entrepreneur or wanted to be a photographer. So he would need to get with a woman who has a good paying job, which is Charlie, and a woman who would value his caretaking skills over his W-2 income. And Charlie would be that woman. She would value Brandon's caretaking skills with her children and his sensitive nature and his caretaking nature. But Charlie is blind over here because what Charlie is addicted to is she's addicted to men who do her wrong and who don't want to pay child support. And really what Charlie should do, she should relook at Brandon. If Brandon is attracted to you, Charlie, and he's trying to push up on you, you need to rethink it. You need to rethink it. Brandon will move to Dallas for you. And Brandon will be the man in your life that you need because the needs that you have will heal and will help soothe Brandon's trauma. And really, the trauma that you have, Charlie, will be soothed by Brandon. Y'all need to get together. I'm going to tell you right now, Brandon and Charlie need to get together. They need to get together. And like I said, Alexis and Chris, I'm so glad that Alexis wised up. But Alexis is still in denial about who she is. I think she sees Chris more for who he is now. Bravo to you, Alexis. But she still doesn't quite see herself all the way. And I don't want her to completely dismiss that all of the name calling of Chris about her being aggressive or controlling or assertive or whatever you want to, or whatever is all based on his trauma. I want her to see that although he is very triggered by it, it is something in her. And if she sees that part, she will then maybe look to do some things differently for her own self. But we find out that Alexis and Chris, maybe they didn't actually all the way have sex, but they was naked together doing something. I don't know what they was doing, exploring, oral sex. I have no idea, touching and feeling. I have no idea what they did. But Alexis wanted to make sure, she said it was not the traditional type of sex. But hey, we shall see. And then what else went on? Cinco had to leave early because he was out trying to get a job to go to the combine and get a job and get a contract. He must didn't get it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't even know I thought Cinco used to play ball. So the idea that Cinco was still running around internationally playing ball and somehow or another that was going to work with Jay. And he said, would you move with me if I played ball internationally? And Jay said, no. She said, no. I got a whole son to take care of. You think I'm going to be running around with you for tryouts, basketball tryouts, not even across the U.S., but across the world in all these different countries? Cinco lives in La La Land. He lives in La La Land. And Jay started pointing that out on that YouTube channel, that he has a lot of dreams that he doesn't want to let go of. And he's still holding on to this basketball dream instead of getting a real job. And the more you think about Cinco's ask of Jay to move to Chicago, knowing he's living in a basement apartment, to travel the world with him, even though she has a young son and he's not even steadily employed, the fact that he asked these things tells me that he's not grounded in logic. You know what I'm saying? So, did he have good advice on the show? Maybe he did, but maybe his logic is all because he lives in sometimes maybe the pie in the sky world. But I don't know if Cinco has the level of groundedness maybe that he needs to have. I mean, some of these things were found out by Jay that he was asking for. I kept saying, no, now that I know about Cinco, how could he have been asking those things of Jay to pick up her life and move to Atlanta? And like I said, you don't even have no steady employment. But that's Jay's fault. Jay was over here trying to win. Just like I said from the very beginning, she was just trying to win this competition. So, like I said, I don't believe anything coming out of Jay's mouth that the reason why she didn't expose Cinco is because she was protecting Cinco. Nope, she was protecting herself. And lastly, Jared and his shenanigans. His shenanigans. He sat over here, and once he realized that Brandon liked Charlie and they have been talking, Jared decides, let me go over here and mind F Brandon and make Brandon realize that if I really want Charlie back, I could have her at any time. And he sat over there and played with Charlie and toyed with Charlie one more time. And Charlie took the bait one more time and acted like she's so frustrated and talking about she still loves Jared, but she is going to get the tattoo removed. Why would you even say you love Jared? Even if you hadn't gotten it all out your system and you were still working on yourself, why would you even say it, Charlie? Charlie is so broken, I tell you. But Brandon, I know he up for the challenge. He is up for the challenge. And Charlie, you might want to, like I said, you might want to try out Brandon. But I tell you, the way that Jared looked when he found out that Brandon liked Charlie and they were still talking, he turned up the notch and he said, let me go over here and play in Brandon's face and let him know that you are just the backup, even if you are the backup, because Charlie likes to chase men. And I'm going to show you how at any point in time, if I want her back, I can have her. And after he played with her and showed it and proved it to Brandon and everyone else, that at the very end, he said, yeah, we shouldn't talk. We shouldn't talk. I mean, Jared and Brittany, they something else. They are not good people. Not good people at all. But anyway, that was it for season 2. That's the wrap up, y'all. I know they're going to bring back a season 3 because I'm here for the shenanigans of Never Ever Met. I'm here for it. So if they bring it back for a season 3, I will be here again. And hopefully y'all will come back as well. But that's all I got. Talk to y'all later. Bye.